Hello everyone, thank you very much for joining this Dynaway webinar. It is one of our deeper dives into the functionality of Dynaway EAM for Business Central, and today we'll be talking about company and user management in EAM. If we jump to the next slide, just a short presentation of the presenter today. Christoph will be the main man on stage, and he will take us safely through the presentation. And I'll be here to answer any questions. My name is Mikkel, and you can chat with me in the chat box. So, Christoph, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Mikkel. So let me just only show Business Central. In general, I would like to little talk about the users and what you can do with users and how to set up users in EAM, because we just need to do some setup for that before you start using Dynaway EAM. Also, I would like to little touch on the licensing and what you can do in some cases. Oh, sorry, not this one. If you have more than one company in Business Central. So let me go to the page which we call Dynaway licensing information. And on this page, you can see for what you are licensed, but you also can see how many assets, users you have licensed, and how many work orders. So you can see that my license here is for 10 users, and I actually use one. But in fact, I'm using the same user in many companies. So this is where we license our user. The same user can have access to many companies, as you can see. But because of that, such person also need to have access to each company that we are able to permissions to all the companies in the database, that we are able to track all where we have users, how many assets we have in all companies. And we face sometimes with our customers that some of the companies, people shouldn't have this access because there will be no maintenance operations there. Maybe there's only a financial company, which is only consolidation company. So you don't want to give access to such users in such company. That's why we added the action here, which is called maintenance companies. And if you do so, you can specify in which companies, in fact, are maintenance companies in the database. And then the person which is a technician or a manager need to have access only to those companies, and this is the companies where you are doing the maintenance operations, and we only need check how many assets, how many users you have in those companies. So that's one thing which you need to know if you will need to restrict the access to some companies for your employees, for the users. The second thing, of course, the users need to be set up in Business Central. So if I will go to the users, you will see that I have my user, which is called Martin Woods. And this user, of course, you need to give the permissions to that user, permission sets, and also a few other things. So what you can assign to user is a permissions, and this user has all permissions, but what you in fact can find is that if you will show the permission set and you will go to those which are starting with DAM, that's our prefix, you can find all permission sets for all our extension which you have installed and with the role ID. So if you're only using EAM, that's pretty easy. You just need to assign permission to EAM manager if you would like that the person will be able to manage assets, manage work order plans, and so on, or you need to assign EAM technician. Technician doesn't have permission to make changes on the asset directly, and also doesn't have permission to do anything related to the setup, which manager can do. All of them should also have EAM basic. This is like a basic permission to just start working with EAM. The one thing which you can find here is also Eam Read. Eam Read allows to read all the data, but don't change anything. So if you have, for example, financial manager, which only read the data, he doesn't need anything else except, for example, Eam Read, and he or she will be able to view the assets, work order, ledger entries, and everything what you know. So that's those which start from EAM. That's from our Dynaway EAM. You can also see the extension here. One which I would like also to emphasize is the Dynaway request. We know that many of our customers using Dynaway request, and remember that we also have a manager who can do the whole setup for the request. We have technician who can operate on the maintenance request, but we have also the requester role. So maintenance requester, where requester can register the requests, right? Doesn't need to have any other setup, but needs to be able to have permissions for the request. And pretty much that's all permissions which you need to assign in many different aspects for Dynaway. But remember that all our permissions start with the word DAM, and you will see all the permissions for all users here. So when we have user who has permission, I also back for a second here. If you're using the request, please also put the contact email, because contact email is an email to which we are sending information about the new maintenance requests. So or any other emails related to the maintenance request. So this contact email can be very important here, so please remember to set up it as well. So that's not enough to use to create assets to work on the work order. There are a few other things which you also need to set up. So at this moment we have a user who has a permission to do in Business Central, but remember we are licensing our maintenance employees. So to be honest, we do not check how many users you have in the database. You know, if you're buying the license from Dynaway, you can buy, for example, 1 or 5 licenses, and this only licenses for the users which need to do real operations in maintenance. So imagine you have organization, for example, manufacturing company, which has 100 Business Central users. 20 of them are in finance, 60 of them are in a manufacturing space, 10 of them is, for example, in procurement, and only 10 of them also is doing the operations with the maintenance. So you need to have only those 10 employees. So how we know which employees are can do the operations? For that we have maintenance employees. And on maintenance employees, you can find few things. The one is that you need to set up all the employees which have access to Dynaway EAM. The very important thing is, which probably will change at some point, is that only maintenance employee can set up maintenance employee. So if you have license for 10 users and you are doing the setup for the users, remember always to start from yourself. So that will allows you to add another users. The first one can be whoever it is, but later only the people which are specified in this table can change the maintenance employees. So that's one thing which I would like to tell. The second thing is related to the scheduling board. Scheduling board, you also know that it can be licensed. You don't need to buy all the scheduling board licenses. You need only those people which really need to have access to the scheduling board. So you also can mark here who has access to the scheduling board. So one of our extensions. If you didn't see it, please go to our other webinar and see how the scheduling board works. But you also can set up that the person has scheduling board in read-only mode, so cannot do the changes there, but can only see the data on the scheduling board. And you also can see that I have a resource number. So from other webinars, you have seen that on the work order, I'm not putting which user is doing the operation, but we using the resources. So this allows me to connect my user, Martin Woods, with the real resource number. So in my case, DC. That gives us something which I will show you in a second. The other thing is that we can create groups. For example, we would like to have a group of all electricians, a general group, or all people which are doing the inspection. With that, you can see two things. If I will go to the group, I can see who is a member of this group. So I can assign, if I will click here, group members, I can assign people which are in the group. The second thing which I can assign is what work types they can do. Let's see if I have anything. For example, here, I can see that this group, which Martin Woods is part of that group, he can do the operations, which is cleaning, inspection, electric, lubricate, and part replacement. Why we need it in a second, but that's somehow where you can create as many groups as you want, and you can assign people to different groups. For example, if you have the teams, technicians in the teams, some teams are located in one place, some people are located in another place, you can group them here, and you can just assign people to that groups. So why we need that? Why we need the groups is and resource is that, as I said, we have on the work order we specify which resource can do the operation or is responsible for that. And if we need it, then I can see based on this mapping, user and resource number, I can see which work orders are assigned to me. So if I will go down, I'm on the asset manager, and I can see that this is my work orders which are assigned to me. So if I will go to any specific work order, I should see on this work order the line which is assigned to the DC user, DC resource, right? So this is how system knows that those are my work orders. So let's go a little back and let's see my queues here. You can see that I have queues which says assigned to the team, assigned to me, and what does it mean? So assigned to me, this is exactly what I explained a second ago. This is the work orders which are specifically assigned to me, right? So the resource number has value, but assigned to the team, let's see and let's open it. Any work order, in this case it will be round. You can see that there is no resource number. So how system knows that it's assigned to my team? It's because we assign to the group which this user is also assigned. We said that this work type code can be done by this group of people. So that's why system knows that I'm DC and I can do it because I'm the part of the group of electrics, right, or electricians. So now I can, without assigning the person, I can also get this work order. And the second thing is, if I will go to the work order list, I can go and I have an action which is called my work orders. This action will filter all the work orders which me personally can do. So in my case, if I'm Martin Woods, I can assign and I'm a resource DC. So you will see all the work orders which are assigned to this particular resource, but also those which are assigned to the groups and not for the specific person, but this which I can do. So this is what you can do with them, users and assign them. And one thing which I also would like to say, that the last about the users, so each user have different role in the organization, but also different role in the system. So that's why I'm mostly showing you the asset technician role. So I have a lot of things here. You can see that I'm focusing from the work orders, from all work orders to, in fact, what is assigned to me at the end, because I care about the whole company, right? But if I am asset technician, I don't need to see all of those things which are also here. So if I will go to the available roles, you will find some roles which are prepared by us. One is the asset manager, which you see. The second one is asset technician, which I will show you in a second. And there is also the role center role for a safe work manager, right? So if I will change to the asset technician, which is most popular role for all the technicians, you can see that my view will be little less complicated and I will only focus on those things which are really assigned to me. So you can see that I don't have so many things in the top. I have only few actions which are created, for example, one of work order or create a request. But I also have different order of the queues here. I have assigned to me as a first, because this is what I would like to see. I have assigned to team, which is assigned to my team, right? I can do it in the second place. And I have also what is unassigned. So those are all work orders which are unassigned to any resource, but only have a work done. I also can see how many work orders were done by me, and in total how many work orders has been done in general, right? I have also request if I have it installed. So also again start from assigned to me to assigned to the team, and then new, open, and unassigned. As you can see, yeah, I don't need to care so much, but there is 3 unassigned, so probably someone should care about those. And I also can see 2 more things. Here is form assigned to me, so the forms which can be assigned to me, and also my work orders which are assigned to me. So much simpler. So one thing which I would like that you will remember is use the proper roles in the organization with the proper permission, and choose in which teams are users to fully use, for example, assign to team functionality. So that was from my side. So thank you, and go back to Mikael.
Thank you, Christoph. A great presentation of functionality, which seems very simple, but very important to remember also in terms of user adoption. Once this is being deployed, keep it simple and keep it user-friendly. This was another session of 20 minutes, an educational session. We do have a few new ones coming up, but just if we jump through the slides here, you'll also see that if you visit our website, there will be tons of recorded webinars where you can go back and listen to those. They are all available on the website. The future ones will be coming up in the coming Wednesdays. So work order checklists and forms, and how to integrate EAM with other Microsoft products. And then last but not least, we have safe work also as a subject. The list will be extended with further topics. If you have any ideas, please send them to us. We'll be happy to take them up on these webinars, and the more the merrier. So we really want to have your engagement on this. That was all for today. We really want to thank you for your participation here. And if you want to see it again, it will be available within the coming days on the website, or you can share it with your colleagues if you like. So that was it for today. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day. See you. Bye.